Yeah, like I promised you, I will be back. I thought about something. You know, we've been discussing loneliness. We've been discussing this whole solitude thing that we on now, this nature thing. Another thing that came to me is another form of going back to nature is going back to your own self. That is nature. It's not that the place where your very consciousness emerges from behind your eyelids? Is that not the place where you observe everything that you see? Is that not the place where everything that your conscious intake is processed? Is that not the place where you feel and explore everything in your mind, concepts, thoughts, your thinking, with the left side of your brain, the right side of your brain? Is that not the hub, the control center of everything? Yes, it is. So that in itself is nature. And is that not the place where you meditate, when you close your eyes and you just escape from the world? Just like when you are in nature, when you out in the woods, when you're on that nature trail, isn't that like the equivalent of going back into the real world, the real you? You see the correlation? The real you is inside. It's not in the forest. I mean, it's not in the surrounding. It's in the inner you, just like the forest. The forest is like the inner part of the world. Just like caves. Caves represent deep states of sleep. You know how you have beta, alpha. I think the deepest, I don't want to misquote it, but I think the deepest is like the beta state. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me in the comment section. But I'm just saying, regardless, it's a and I'm gonna just stand right here. They don't know what I'm doing. These deadbeats, you know, they don't know what's going on. Damn, look at this big dog right here. Damn. God damn. Gosh, that dude walked past me. Man, he smells. Shit. Yeah. Is that not a metaphor for what I'm speaking about? You got different levels of going inside of yourself. Like a cave would represent the deepest recesses of your mind when you go into those deep stages of sleep. You know how you have them different, like they have REM sleep, and then you have a deeper level. That's what I'm speaking of. The world represents that, and nothing represents that natural world more than your own self. So I'm gonna say something else, and this might sound crazy, but you need to learn. And by the way, y'all, you see this? You see what that shirt say? It says culture. It's a cult. And you see how he's just like a mannequin? He's just like an organic portal. That's all he is. He's a part of the culture of society. And that's what we are trying to evade and get away from. We don't want to be like this mannequin right here. That's how most of these people are, man. They just dressed up, got clothes on, got shoes on. But what I was saying is, we need to learn how to love ourselves to the point where we walk around and we talking to ourselves. You can be in public. Don't be afraid. Mumble to yourself. You don't have to be loud with it, you know, but just learn how to walk around. And that when you're not talking to yourself, you are speaking to your loneliness. The loneliness is the wisdom side of you, the reality side of you. And I do it all the time. How y'all think I get the information for these videos? My loneliness tells me. That's the best way to channel information. And guess what? That friend has always been with you. You just never sat still enough to introduce yourself to your own self that's with you. As a matter of fact, thank you, Spirit. Your loneliness, it represents your shadow on the ground. You see, you'll walk around all day and not pay your shadow no mind. But it's there with you all the time. You don't ever speak to it. You don't say hey to it. You just step on it and don't give it any type of regard. But that shadow is a part of you that nobody sees, that nobody pays attention to. And that's what your very loneliness is. It's a shadow self of you that you need to start recognizing. You see, learn how to speak to yourself. As far as these people know, I'm on the phone talking to somebody. You see, I'm just manipulating the situation, and at the same time, I'm taking advantage of the situation. I'm making videos at the same time. I'm having deep, meditative thoughts throughout the day, reflecting and giving up information throughout the day, receiving information and being a conduit of the information at the same time. That's what it's all about. Or I could be like these lames, just standing on the corner. I mean, what you think they talking about the type of stuff we talking about? No, man, they not doing that. I mean, you can take any of these people, like this lady right there. You think actually that her mind is thinking about this lady with this blue and white stripe? You think she's actually sitting around? No, man. And I'm not just randomly saying that. I can tell, man. You should be able to tell by now, man. If you can't tell by now, you should be getting on your own self, man. Trying to tell y'all this organic portal information. This is our religion, basically. We live by this. And I think I've said that before. We don't try to force people to worship like us. We don't try to, this is our religion. And it's kind of cool when you think about it. We like a self-contained religion that don't have no books. We don't have no writings or anything like that. We just this left side of the brain channel is the religion. You know how they go to a mosque or a temple or a church? What we teach just go out into nature. Our sanctuary is already built. We taught ourselves. We embrace our loneliness. That's something that nobody can take away from you, because number one, they don't think it exists. If you sit and talking to yourself, they don't gotta know what you're saying. You can just be moving your lips. That way you'll never feel like out of place. You know what I'm saying? You'll always be in place because you're in yourself. You'll never feel out of place. You only feel out of place when you are in their environment trying to mimic them and behave like them and get down like them. We don't get down like that. What does the scripture say? And all those scriptures that make sense, guess what? They was written by people who have souls. They were not written by organic portals. But it's a scripture that say that we are in the world, but not of the world. And the reason why I quote scripture sometimes, because those scriptures existed even before they were put into any kind of codex. You see, those scriptures always existed. Just like mathematics always existed. Just because somebody wrote a formula, 1 + 3 = 4, that don't mean they discovered that. That always existed. Just because somebody discovered that the freezing point is 32 degrees and they came up with mercury and put some markers on a glass tube, they didn't do nothing. Actually, if the mercury could speak, it would be laughing like this has always been the case. Just like this information, it's just that we coming into it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? It's always been the case. It's always been there. Y'all see the Buddhist? Since we're on this conversation of, he fits right in. He could be in a monastery or something right now, embracing his loneliness. You see how he ain't, look how he dressed. He ain't trying to fit in. I don't know if y'all see him. Y'all see him? He out here in public. He ain't trying to fit in. He walking around, and I'm saying we can take it even a step beyond what he does. We walking around in a monastery, and we don't even have no type of uniform or anything. We just know each other by the simple vibe that we get, when we around each other, we'll just know it, man. You want to talk about telepathy? That is telepathy. Telepathy is knowing who is who at all times. That's the secret to telepathy. It ain't about reading somebody's mind. It's reading somebody's vibe. Knowing that that's all you need to know. Because it's all about survival and being safe and preserving your energy from being manipulated by them. No, you manipulate them. You see what I'm saying? Like, see, this thing, it never runs out of information. That's why each video I be dropping more jewels, different jewels every time. Because guess what? It never runs out, man. It's always jewels, man. You can dig in the earth. You always gonna find minerals and diamonds in the earth. It never runs out. These jewels, they always there. And that's what we do, man. We dropping brain jewels. And notice I keep saying we. Because why? Because we feeding from the same source of information. We drinking from the same well of knowledge. And that's what it's about. So that's my message. Y'all have to embrace even just talking to yourself. Talk out loud if you want to. You can be, if you talk out loud, just be on the trail. I do that sometimes. Even in my house by myself sometimes. I'll be talking like this without even recording myself. Like I'm making a video without even recording myself. Going over my message for that day. I do that. And that's what that scripture means when it says to meditate day in and day out. It means that you are talking to yourself. That's what it means by meditate. It ain't just sitting blank. When you're in meditation, you are getting insights. Meditation is not about, what I tell y'all, the soul is a collection of information. That's what a soul is. So when you're meditating, only thing you're doing is just receiving information from your higher channel. And it's just coming down into your spirit. Because what you did at that moment, when you were meditating, you're shutting down the outside world. You bringing your mind to a still, calm state. And that still, calm state is the opening of the doors of information. And at that point, the information just starts to pour into your spirit like the rainfall. And a metaphor for that is like when the clouds just pour and you sitting and absorbing the information like the trees. Bringing up the information. That's what it's about. Information. And you can do this too, man. This type of lifestyle. It's only hard if you don't dedicate yourself. You gotta decide to be this. Even what I'm doing right now is a meditation. You may say, how, left side? Because look, what I'm doing. I'm sitting here, I'm speaking, but at the same time, I am open right now. Because what I'm speaking about is higher knowledge. It'd be different if I was just speaking and talking about a basketball game and this. I wouldn't be receiving higher knowledge like that. Not saying that I couldn't, but I can receive it simultaneously as I speak about the spirit. It'll give me more. I'm gonna tell you about that loneliness. It loves attention. It's just like a animal. Like you have a dog or something. The more you pet it, the more it likes to jump on you and lick you, and it be more loyal to you. It's the same way with this information. It loves the attention. The more you give that loneliness attention, just like the scripture says, it says, if you draw nigh to me, I will draw nigh to you. That means come close. If you come close to me, I'll come close to you. That's how the loneliness treats you. It's like, if you stay away from me, you ain't showing me no affection. I'm not about to be dropping jewels on you. If the only thing you think about is the materialistic realm, why should I drop jewels on you? I'm gonna go talk the left side of the brain. You don't want to talk to me. Yeah, I just want to leave y'all with that, man. Some things to ponder about. I'm about to upload this video. Learn to talk out loud to yourself in public. I don't know what I'm gonna title it. But before I go, be on the lookout for the live stream this Tuesday, July the 10th, from 9 to 11. The resurrection. Don't miss it. Tell everybody you know. Come on, oh my God, I know y'all saw that thing. But you know what? He's normal though. He normal. What I tell y'all about the look, y'all got me going into what I tell y'all about the LGBT. He's normal. That type of man. They want him. Y'all about to get me started. This is Left Side of the Brain signing out.